Hello and welcome back to Serpent Sunday. Now, I know we skipped last week, but finals just ended and honestly, I needed a break to decompress from all of that. But we are now back and maybe not better than ever, maybe about the same, but we're gonna go with better than ever. Another note before we jump into this week's episode, if you notice a little bit of a theme in the next couple of weeks or months, that we're going to be doing a lot of species spotlights and a lot of stuff that has to do specifically with the desert and coastal regions of Southern California. There's a reason for that, and that's because I'm super jazzed about species and things native to my area, and until that no longer tickles my fancy and I am this channel's god, so I say what goes on it, we're probably going to be focusing on that. Now, with that all out of the way, let's jump into this week's topic, which is a lovely little serpent that can occasionally be found off the coast in my general area, the yellow-bellied sea snake. These particular sea snakes are very easy to identify. They have a very dark top half of their body that ranges from a dark brown to black, and they are fairly bright yellow on the bottom with a very spotted rudder-like tail. However, there is a population of these sea snakes in Costa Rica specifically that tend to be solid yellow with varying levels of either no dark to some dark. But that is a kind of isolated population. In general, they're going to be dark on top, bright yellow on the bottom. And where you're going to find these snakes is usually the tropical Pacific Ocean. They tend to prefer the warmer water areas. However, during El Nino events, they can be found in the cooler waters of Southern California, Tasmania, and New Zealand. And this is just because during El Nino events, the water currents do shift a bit, and the water in those areas that is generally very cool is a bit warmer. So those snakes occasionally can be found there, which is why if you look at the field guides of, say, California, the yellow-bellied sea snake is listed as a native sea snake of California, even though they are infrequent and not very heavily populated in these areas. They do eat a diet of primarily small surface-dwelling fish and eels, and they catch their prey with their venom. And while their venom can be highly toxic and deadly to anyone unfortunate enough to be bitten, this particular species of sea snake has been noted to be very reluctant to bite and a bit more docile than other species of sea snakes. That being said, don't go out and mess with them. Just leave them alone. These snakes are unique in that they are entirely aquatic and marine, so their reproduction is a little bit interesting. They do give live birth, and their young are fully equipped to live in the water once they are entered into this world. When they do give birth, they will give birth to about 1 to 8 young, and they often tend to go to mangrove or tidal pool areas to release their young onto the world, since these are a little bit more protected than the open waters of the Pacific Ocean. And some fun facts and cool adaptations of this species that I find very fascinating is that these entirely aquatic snakes are also diurnal. Now, there isn't a whole lot known about specific behaviors of the nighttime activities of different marine species, just because it's hard to get that data, but they are primarily more active during the day. They do not drink the seawater, and it's been a little bit debated about how they live in this environment. And there are some glands on their nose that were hypothesized to possibly release salt from seawater that may be ingested, but recent data has shown that they will go months without drinking anything if they're out in the open water, but when there's a rain event, they will drink the floating fresh water on top of the ocean after storms. Or the ones that live near the coast will take advantage of fresh water flowing out of streams and other areas like that as well. But it is not uncommon to find severely dehydrated sea snakes. They are also unique in that they can swim both forwards and backwards, and that is a phenomenon that is not necessarily seen in every marine species. But they are essentially helpless on land because their bodies are flattened to help with their swimming. When they do get washed up on the beach, they are helpless and have lost pretty much all mobility on dry land. And the interesting thing, they will grow barnacles and things like that, and they shed in the same way that they remove these barnacles. And algal species, all that fun stuff that gets stuck on marine things. They will kind of tie themselves into a knot and squeegee that stuff off. So that's how they lose their old skins. That's how they get rid of annoying things growing on them. And the other thing was that they're not known to bite humans. They do tend to be a little docile, but the envenomation can be deadly if that does happen. Okay, well, that's all I really have for you this week. I just kind of got excited about these yellow-bellied sea snakes because I think they're neat. But I do hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, day, what have you, and I will see you all next time. Thank you again for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell if you would like to see more. And if you'd like to follow me on any of my other social medias, the links are down in the description below. Don't forget to check out thereptilegoth.com for all of my articles and blog posts. If you found any value in this video and you would like to help support the channel, please check out my Patreon page. That link is also in the description down below. And a special thanks goes out to my Diamond Dragon patron, Diane V. What you're doing is really helping me fund a dream here. I will see you guys all in the next one.